Hello, everybody. My name is Merrick Good, and today I'm going to be talking to y'all about for loops. So, if I can just share my screen here, we can just dive right into it. So, as you see here today, I have a little program from one of our prior labs that is, let's see, given an integer, you're going to return the sum of all the odd numbers starting from 1. So, for instance, if your input is 20, it would add 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 and so forth. So whenever you're doing any type of problem here where you kind of need something that's going to be done over and over, a for loop is one of your easiest and best ways to go. So in this case, you can see we're adding a bunch of odd numbers over and over. So here, the best bet to use is a for loop. As you see here, very simple setup right here. So let's dive into let's dive into what a for loop really is. So the for loop is made up of 3 components pretty much. You have the first part, which is an initializer. So this initializes the loop. This is a very simple thing. While it might look complicated, you create an integer and you can give it any variable name. So in this case, I use I. It could be X, Z, it could be a name, it could be anything. Integer I, you initialize it. So you started at 1. Remember that this loop is not like the code. This loop is just to clarify how often you want something to be done. On the inside, the for loop is when we'll actually get to code. But for this is the for loop itself is just how often you want things to be iterated. So the next one is the condition. In this case, I put while I is less than num. So in this case, num is going to be the number that someone inputs, and I is going to be whatever it initializes that at 1. So num, let's say if someone inputs 20, this loop will run until integer I equals 1 is less than 20. Once it goes over 20, the loop will stop, it'll cut, and then we'll go. This last part right here, I plus equals 2, this is just clarifying that this updates I after each iteration of the loop. So that means after this loop runs one whole time, one complete rotation, I will add 2. So then I will equal to 3. Down here, the code is very simple. You just create an integer for sum, initialize it at 0. And this right here just adds I to it every time. So for instance, let's just run this loop one time. It's going to be I, going to run once. I is still less than 20. You're going to add 2 to it. And then the sum is going to add that from I. And then so forth. Now I is equal to 3. 3 is still less than 20. Add 2. I is now equal to 5. And so on and so forth. When you input 20, your output will be 100. Thank you all very much, and looking forward to talking about more.